Imagine you are using the most complex machine on the planet, a biological system fine-tuned over millions of years of evolution. And yet, instead of functioning smoothly like a perfect masterpiece, it is riddled with bizarre quirks and design flaws that make you wonder whether to laugh or cry. Why does the laryngeal nerve of a giraffe take an unnecessary detour longer than its entire body? Why can humans choke to death just from eating a piece of bread? And have you ever wondered why our spine, originally designed for crawling, now struggles to support an upright posture, dooming humanity to a lifetime of back pain? The human body is not a flawless masterpiece, but a patchwork of makeshift solutions where nature's quick fixes sometimes lead to absurd, even tragic consequences. Before we dive into these unbelievable design flaws, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you won't miss any fascinating videos. And now let's begin our journey into the bizarre imperfections of the human body. When discussing the design flaws of the human body, we must first mention something incredibly illogical. The things that bring us comfort and pleasure are often harmful to our health, while the things that are exhausting and painful actually make us stronger. For example, lying down and playing on your phone feels amazing, but it damages your health. Meanwhile, running makes you feel like you're about to pass out, yet it's incredibly beneficial for your body. Isn't that just unfair? If we're talking about the most famous design mistakes, we can't ignore the recurrent laryngeal nerve. Just hearing about it is enough to give you a headache. The brain is only a short distance from the larynx, so logically, the nerve should take a direct route. But for some baffling reason, it doesn't. Instead, it takes a detour, looping all the way down to the aortic arch near the heart before turning back up to its destination. The reason? This nerve's pathway is a relic from the time when our ancestors were still fish. Back then, the brain and heart were close together, making its route perfectly reasonable. But after moving on to land, as the neck elongated, the nerve was forced to stretch along with it, resulting in this absurdly inefficient design. And this is just one of many quirks in our bodies. Take itching, for example. Sometimes, no matter how hard you try to scratch, it feels like the itch is in another dimension, always just out of reach. This is due to overstimulation of the vagus nerve, which creates bizarre sensory illusions. Then there's the issue of walking upright on two legs. While it granted us significant evolutionary advantages, it also introduced countless problems. Our already fragile spines now bear the full weight of our upper bodies, making herniated discs an all-too-common nightmare. Standing upright also places immense pressure on the knees. Imagine someone weighing over 100 kilograms constantly jumping around. It's only a matter of time before their cartilage starts crying for help. And let's not forget the burden on our veins, leading to conditions like varicose veins and, for some unfortunate souls, hemorrhoids. Meanwhile, four-legged animals distribute weight evenly across all limbs, avoiding these issues entirely. So, even when sitting on the toilet, don't get too absorbed in your phone and stay there for too long. Moving on to another questionable aspect of our design. We all know that certain parts of our bodies change size when stimulated. That's right, the pupils. They regulate the amount of light entering the eye, which is then transmitted to the retina. However, the retina itself is one of the worst design flaws in the human body. It's as if nature built it backwards. The nerve cells are at the front, while the photoreceptor cells responsible for detecting light are at the back. Because of this, the optic nerve has to punch a hole through the retina, creating a blind spot where no light can be detected. You can test this yourself. Close your left eye, focus your right eye on the red cross on the left side of an image, and you'll notice that a black dot on the right side will eventually vanish from view. That's your blind spot. So next time you get rejected by your crush, just comfort yourself with the thought that maybe she didn't actually ignore you. Perhaps you just happened to stand in her blind spot. That said, our bodies aren't completely hopeless. We have two eyes that compensate for each other, and our powerful brains fill in the missing visual information. It's a perfect example of a system running on patchwork fixes, where computational power is used to cover up fundamental hardware flaws. When we step back and look at the big picture, it's clear that we're like a piece of buggy code, poorly written, yet miraculously functional. There are countless other design flaws in our bodies. If some wise old man with a long white beard truly created humans based on a blueprint, he must have grabbed the wrong version, the one riddled with errors. But in reality, evolution doesn't start from scratch. It continuously modifies pre-existing structures. From a single-celled organism to the complex beings we are today, our DNA is nothing more than a chaotic accumulation of ancient code. It would be strange if there weren't any bugs. A perfect example? Some people have a tiny hole near their ears known as a preauricular pit. This exists because millions of years ago, our ancestors were fish that breathed through gills. When we transitioned to land, we no longer needed them, but evolution never truly deletes old code. It only writes new patches to suppress outdated functions. However, sometimes these patches don't work perfectly, leaving behind remnants like that small hole near the ear. Flaws like these don't interfere with our primary genetic mission, reproduction. Evolution is never perfect, and these little bugs will continue to accumulate over time. But as the game Zora Ort once said, natural evolution can only be described in one simple and brutal word: failure. And today, we must redefine what success means. Humanity must change, must evolve beyond its limitations, because no one wants to be stuck in a messy, outdated, and error-filled genetic code forever. And those are just a few of the many absurd design flaws of the human body. While we can laugh at these quirks, they also remind us that evolution, no matter how grand, is still a trial and error process, far from perfect. If you found these facts interesting, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the next fascinating discoveries. Tomorrow, we'll continue our journey to uncover an even stranger design, a body part that seems important but is almost completely useless. Can you guess what it is? Stay tuned for the next video.